Every time me and the girl was about to end, or I was about to do something that she didn't like, or I was about to go somewhere that she didn't really want me to go to, out of nowhere, something catastrophic happened. You know, my mom is sick. She just got diagnosed with cancer. And I'm like, do you got cancer?
Oh my God.
Nah. I'm like, but like,
That's
I don't have that
mean.
sympathy part, like
That's
sympathy
mean.
part for
I do. And that's why I got roped back. I'm easily roped back in because of like, I'm an empath. I really am.
Nah, I'm a path. Ain't no ME. And it ain't no emotional part for me. And that's the thing. I feel like in this situation, again, kind of similar to what Alan was saying, it's like people subconsciously create a situation to prevent whatever outcome is about to transpire. So, you know, some people that if a woman doesn't want to get touched by her man or her husband for whatever reason, she might start eating more and become undesirable for him to help prevent him from wanting to touch her. In this case, I think she started driving with her eyes closed and said, he's not going on this guy trip. I know all about Dominican Republic. And then she just hit a Dominican car. like that's what I think probably happened. You know, I'm going on a trip regardless. I don't care what you hit, what you break. I'm going. The only way I'm not going is if it's like my girl has to have some type of immediate surgery. And, you know, even if she had a cut, let's say she had a gash, like right here on her arm.
She needed stitches.
She needs to stitch it up. I'll be back. Them stitches probably typically come out in about 2 weeks. If it's the dissolvable ones, you'll be all right. And we just keep moving forward.
Well, okay. Well, I feel like we very much clearly stated our stance on this. But going back to if it was on the other foot, did you do that on purpose? Because you said that you would be very mad if she still went on her trip. Did you do it on purpose?
I would be mad because I didn't do it on purpose. You know, but I'm like, wow, like this is really unfortunate and I don't do stuff like this. I don't play that game. Like, don't threaten your life to try to make me feel bad for you because I'm not. I promise you I'm not. And if your family asks me what happened, I just be like, this is what happened. Like, I would tell them the truth. So you never dated a guy who threatened himself?
This is why I say I get roped in. And it's like, and not even like 1000% roped in, because in the back of my mind, I'm like, Amanda, this is manipulation. But like, you can't really say like, you're manipulating me talking about. You know what I mean? So it was actually, this was a situation where this is someone I had already left. But there was like, you know, when you leave somebody, but then it's still like, yeah, there's still like the linger. So I was in the lingering stage, and that stage became very difficult for me because it was like, we would always talk about trying to be friends, but then obviously on their end, they just did not know how to do it. So we ended up at the same party one night, which it frustrated me because you knew I was going to be here and you showed up knowing that I was going to be here, and I had no idea that you were coming. And we talk all the time. So like, why didn't you mention that you were also coming to the same party that I was coming? It just frustrated me, whatever. So of course I just wanted to continue having a good night with my friends. So I kind of just like kept the two separate. All right, you're here, but that don't got nothing to do with me. You be here with whoever you came with, and I'm still gonna like be with my friends. And did the whole avoiding around the party, whatever.
Awkward.
Messages.
Wait, so you're texting?
Like texting. They left early because I actually did a little hiding out in the bathroom. So whatever, they couldn't find me.
Wait, what? Why are you hiding in the bathroom?
Because like, why are you here? Yeah, it was very sneaky, and this wasn't the first time they did it. And we spoke about the first time that they did it. So I really couldn't believe that it was happening again. So they texted me like, why are you treating me like this? You was acting like you didn't even know me, blah, 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 all this. And we were actually supposed to be going on a vacation together, like a couple days like later. So they were like, you know, just cursing me out, fucking hate you, don't come. And I was just like, cool, blocked that person because I'm like, I'm not into the arguing. Whatever. They asked for me to unblock them the next morning, and then they came to apologize. And in the apology, they said, I don't know what's wrong with me. Like, so many things have been going on. My parents this and that. And honestly, I don't want to be here. And I've been and this was, they came to my house to like talk to me. So I'm like, this is in person. This is not text messages. Yeah. I don't know what to say. I was actually trying to like sever ties with this person. So it's just like, I can't keep giving myself to you. I really did not know what to do with that information. I don't know how to make you feel okay or stop you from doing whatever you feel like needs to be done because of whatever you're going through. So I'm like, the best I can do is reach out to other people I know are close to you. Like, I mean, I don't even know what your friends are going to do, but I'm like, I know your parents. I'll call them and I'll let them know that this is things that you're saying because maybe you need some real help. I can't. I don't feel like I could help you.
And those episodes are just not. I feel like it's so unwarranted to dump it on somebody, right? And especially because you're at your breaking point, because whatever relationship you thought this was is now ending, and that's like the cherry on top for everything else that you might be going through. So now you kind of dump that whole thing on that one person, and I feel like it again, like you said, they need some serious help. I don't even think their parents can help them. Oftentimes, their parents are the reason why they are already feeling this way, right? And whatever else they're going through at home or throughout their upbringing.
Sometimes they portray to be emotionally unstable so that you don't leave, so that they stay, so that they keep you around. And honestly, I think that I'm not going to say I think that is what was done to me.
Manipulation. Yeah. And for me, like, and here's the thing, right? I have a friend who has a son who is in high school, and he has a condition where half of his body is like paralyzed, or half of his upper body is paralyzed. So he doesn't have like mobility or function in his arm, but he's very smart, right? And obviously growing up with that as a kid is different than when you get to high school with that. You know what I'm saying? And he's had moments where he thought or questioned the reason of his existence, right? And I can see that could be a reason. Well, I don't want to say they're not all reasons, but that is a prime example of for me, a reason to be empathetic and to really try to help that person cope through whatever they're going through. Now, if you just become because we break up, like for me, one, I think is disrespectful to the people who are actually going through something that is literally making them feel different from everybody else on a day-to-day basis, that a lot of times they often didn't have control over, versus you're just upset that me and you are not working.
You can't really know what someone's feeling. Like a breakup to someone might feel like the end of the world. This is probably the only person they felt like was by their side. I've gone through a breakup and I had to grieve the relationship. So not being with this person anymore, not having that person in my life anymore. It's not like they were dead, like they were gone, but they were gone from my life. So it is a grieving process. So I understand why that can really like gut somebody and make them feel empty. Probably isn't the same kind of hurt of like, you know, having a disability. It's two different kinds of hurt, but you never really know on what level someone's hurting.
Yeah.
For what reason?
Doesn't even matter the reason. To be honest.
To you.
No, it's reality. Because like the reality is this. There's better and then there's worse. I mean, there's bad and then there's worse, right? And I think we all go through bad.
Yeah, but I think that your bad can be someone's worse.
that's I think that
right?
That's technically true, right? Based on your tolerance and your threshold, but it's not fair to the people who are really going through things. And I think when you sit back and you look at it, like it's like, okay, this might be the end of a relationship, of a 2-3 year relationship. I really love this person. I saw myself with this person, but you didn't do what was necessary to keep that person.
I think that you were looking at it from a wrong place. I think that it's not fair to people who actually love you. Based on a relationship, because you just feel like you're so heartbroken and you just don't want to be here anymore. It's unfair for the people who are actually on this earth that love you. That's what I think is unfair. Because again, you can't really tell people what's fair or what's unfair or what's worthy of being sad over, what's not worthy of being sad over. Yeah, you can.
And I'll tell you this, right? Because it doesn't matter about how you feel. And the second that we start to realize that, then we can understand what should override what we think is, right? When I had the situation and I had to write this letter to a judge, and I was writing this letter to this judge and I'm telling him where I came from and how all the obstacles that I had and all the progression that I have made. And I've been through a lot of shit, a lot. My lawyer said to me, I emailed to her to proofread. She emailed it right back to me and said, delete it and make a new one. And I was like, for what? She was like, you think that you've been through a lot and there's millions that have been through work. The judge is not going to be able to empathize with that, knowing the truth. So if I'm dealing with somebody and I break up and they break up with me, I can't expect them to empathize with my pain, knowing if they know what real pain is outside of my pain. So it's unfair to expect that of that person. It doesn't matter about what I feel anymore, because the truth is what I feel is just what I feel at this moment. The truth is that this is something that I can rebound from. The truth is this is something I can end up walking forward and potentially even getting a better relationship than I have right now. So when you get to this point of threatening, try to make somebody feel your pain, which is what empathy is, understanding it, then you get to a point where it becomes selfish, where it becomes manipulative, and it's just really not conducive for you or that person. And I think a lot of people, by the way, who have success throughout a breakup do it with multiple partners. I don't think they just do it like one time. They did it with this person, they did it with that person, they did it with that person. It's like their last final card is always a major threat.
Well, I think that might be emotional instability, but I don't think that could be true for everyone, because just like the example you gave with the girl that did it to you, you said that she's always wanted you. She's like always had a crush on you or whatever you said. I can see her doing that to you because she wanted to keep this relationship. I can't really see her doing that in her like past relationships or, you know, someone that she just happened to be with and they both like equally liked each other. I can't really see that someone would do that in that situation.
This one person is not your world. If you don't have a purpose outside of a person, that is just going to show that you are not literally doing anything for you. And I'm not saying in a selfish way, but anything for any self-fulfillment. And if this one, like even when I was in high school, I would tell every girl, I don't want to be your world, right? I remember one girl, I think I was like 16, I was a junior. She's like, I'm gonna name you my phone as my world. I said, don't do that. I don't want to be your world. I want to be in your world. I want to be a part of your world. I don't want to be your world. Because the second I become your world and this don't work, your world comes crashing down, I don't know what you're gonna do. But I think there's a lot of people who want that feeling.
I feel like as adults, we're like more, you know, there to be like, I don't want to be your world.
Nah,
right?
I feel
like as kids, it's like, ooh, yeah.
Nah.
I'm your world. I'm your baby.
That's y'all generation.
Okay. No, it's not. And I was trying to say that there's different strength levels. Someone who probably has, you know, the pain of the world on their shoulders can probably be strong enough to keep fighting till their last day. Meanwhile, somebody that just went through their most horrendous breakup just is not strong enough to keep fighting and believing that this pain will end eventually. Time will heal all. I'll find someone else eventually.
They need therapy.
They have to stay here long enough to get therapy, to let the time heal, to start doing things for themselves, as you say. They need to be here to still learn those things.
But you can't see, this is the thing. We cannot sit here and enable poor decisions.
That's not what I'm doing.
I mean, sometimes the thing is, when you try to be empathetic to people, it enables and validates how they feel. And I'm not saying invalidate how they feel, but sometimes when you validate how somebody is feeling, that feeling grows stronger and grows into a truth that will be unbreakable for them. So if you tell them like, hey, listen, this is not reality. What you're feeling is not reality. And it's not about my strength and what I've undergo or went through prior to you or even with you. It's just the reality is, if this is not working and this breakup is hurting both of us, but this breakup isn't hurting to a point where I want to make the pain stop in a way.
That doesn't take away from being empathetic towards anyone, because empathy really just means that I'm putting myself in your shoes and I can understand why you're feeling the way you're feeling. But there's a future after this.
Okay, but
empathy doesn't mean I'm telling you, yeah, this is the right thing to do. That's not what it means.
I don't want to understand what you're feeling, because what you're feeling doesn't make sense, and I don't understand it. But what I will tell you is the truth, and the truth makes more sense than your feelings. And the truth is, right now you're going through something that hurts, and that is normal, right? But within due time, and everybody's time frame is different, you need to do some other things that are going to make you be more whole, that'll patch up this wound that you currently are experiencing. But it's not the end of the world. It is not worth you hurting yourself. It is not worth any of the repercussions, or I'm going to say repercussions, but the domino effect of the pain that you're going to cause around, your family and friends by you hurting yourself.
You need to lighten your heart a little bit.
It's not lighten it. And you need to open your eyes, because the thing is, it's not, pain is pain, right? And I do agree, right? Some people could go through a lot. Some people could go through a little. I also do think that most people that can only go through a little don't often go through much, right? But when they do go through something, they need the people who go through more to explain to them that what they're going through is not that much, is not the end of the world, so they can actually understand what life is. You had a relationship for 12 months, now all of a sudden you're trying to slit your wrist. It's crazy. Like, it's crazy to me. Not saying that they're crazy. The situation is crazy. But like, when you're in the little high school relationships, right? Guys and girls would always play this crazy ass empathy game when the breakup happened, right? And it don't always got to be to the extreme of them threatening to hurt themselves, but it's always my mom is going through something, something happened to my sister. And don't get me started on the car accidents. Dudes had fake car accident from Google Images that they would send to girls just to get them to be like, oh, I'm gonna come over right now. It's like, yeah, my arm really hurt. Like, it was really crazy. So like, for me, I don't think it's that I'm really cold. I think it's just that I seen the game be played.
I was about to say, y'all was doing a lot in high school. Well, maybe because I wasn't really like...
We was fast. We was fast.
Yeah, y'all was fast. Because I'm like, I've actually seen that more in my adult life than when I was younger and like just talking to niggas.
I think so as an adult, out of high school, I've only ran into, I think, one situation that I can think of off the top of my head. It might have been one or two, but I might be forgetting one, but definitely one that I know. But all of that other shit that was all in high school. I done seen it. I done got mad at my homies for doing it. And I got one of my homies, right? And that was his specialty. He was like, yo, I'm about to make her feel like she needs to be, watch this. And then he would get her emotions all to the top of the roof. And then she'd just beat her by his hip like the whole way.
They do this on purpose, y'all.
I'm just saying. So like, I don't believe it. That's why when I was like, yo, you gonna do it, then do it.
Like, sometimes it's hard for me to like decipher like what's real and what's a tactic, right? Because even when I was at my end with this guy, he had a lot of stuff going on. Like, his life was drama. Okay, there were things that were seriously going on in his life. But then, like, for you to bring it up and be like, oh, I'm so stressed about this. Are you really so stressed about this? And are you crying to me about this right now because you don't want me to leave? Or is this something that's like really like taking over your life and your heart right now? You get what I'm saying? Sometimes it's hard to know, like, are you being for real? Or are you just trying to like throw some words at me so that I don't leave? And actually at that time, because I'm telling you, like, his life was drama, I felt bad. Like, I really wanted to leave the relationship, but I felt bad because I was like, damn, I feel like he really needs somebody right now. And I don't want to add like misery to his life by breaking up with him.
I'm adding it. I've never stayed with a single woman because I felt bad. And I don't stay with me because you feel bad either. Like, I don't need no sympathy relationship. I don't want none of it. I don't want it. I don't want to be a part of it. I don't want to condone it, enable it at all. And I won't feel bad. Yo, if I stay with somebody because like of a threat, I would feel like they kind of owe me. Like, I'm like, what?
You guys are not.
I saved your life. No, you didn't. Yes, I did. Like, I'm still here. Like, what are we talking about?
That's what you're gonna say. That's what you're gonna make that's what you're gonna tell yourself to make yourself feel good.
I can't do it, bro. I can't do it. Honestly,
I don't need nobody telling me that, period.
I don't think anybody listen, if it was gonna happen, it was gonna happen. I'm not wearing the burden of somebody else's emotional instability. I'm not doing it. I don't care what it is, how you feel. I don't care if we broke up. I'm just rocking like that.
When you're deep in the mirror of heartbreak, chances are that you feel pain somewhere in your body, probably in your chest or stomach. Some people describe it as a dull ache, others as piercing, while still others experience it as a crushing sensation.
Well, I tell you what, one of my homies told me how his chest hurt before because the girl he really liked, it wasn't working, right? And he was like, yo, like, I woke up out my sleep and my chest was hurting. And I was like, yeah, I've been there. But like, for me, it wasn't like
Have you? I don't know.
No,
I
I
feel
wasn't
like from
interjecting.
this whole conversation, I'm like, you never really felt nothing.
No, I felt a lot, but like,
You can't make me believe that.
but the thing is, it's like I can compartmentalize like terrible tragedies very well. And I think that's probably what helps me see through a lot. Let's say right now, if like me and my girl broke up and I had to try to deal with the fact that she would most likely live in California and there's no win, right? Because if my daughter stayed with me, yeah, I have my daughter with me, but my daughter's going to ask and want her mother every single day, I would assume. And if my daughter lived without me in California, I know I would feel how I would feel in that moment, right? So I think that is probably the only situation that would really like get me to a point where I really can't understand it. Everything else, I understand it very, very well as it is what it is. Like I don't resist the outcome. I think a lot of people who go through these pains and their pain has such a long-term effect on them is because they're constantly resisting their outcome. You know what I'm saying? So if I'm going through something and we break up, whether it be a year or 2 years or 5 years or 10, I'm not going to resist it for long. I'm going to be mad at it. I'm going to be mad that it happened, whatever the case, but I'm going to accept it as if I asked for it. And that's the key of everything. If you ask me, you accept all of the good and bad as if you asked for it, you'll learn how to cope with it in a healthier way. But when you don't and you resist it and you resist the truth of your outcome, you resist the reason of why it happened and all of the different things that were, playing, all of the different factors that went into play in it happening, that's when you get depressed. That's when you lose yourself. That's when you carry that on for 10 years and you just end up, it's like a domino effect into literally the worst version of you.
Hey guys, we are not counselors or therapists, but we want you to know that if you guys are ever having dark thoughts or thoughts of hurting yourself, please check out the hotline below.